Good afternoon, colorists. I am Mia Luyando with Badass Art. We are here this afternoon to work on some realistic eyes. And we are in our Botany Bay book. And this is probably the last one that we'll start in this book. We still have our dark skin tutorial and our fair skin tutorial and our rainbow color pencils that we're winding up this weekend, if I can get the weather to cooperate with me. I am sorry I haven't gotten those finished. Well, they're finished. It's just getting them uploaded. Every time I try, it's like the storms come through and it just crashes my internet. And the last time it was like 12 hours. And it's just every time the internet would crash, I had to start the process all over again. But anyway, I decided to use Faber Castell, and these are the Black Edition. And I wanted to just make a note. I have both sets of these. I have the Eco Super Soft by Faber Castell, and I also have the Black Edition, and they're the exact same set of pencils. The only difference is the Eco Softs are round, and the ones that are just called Black Edition are triangular. They are the exact same. There's the same number of pencils, they're the same color number, the same colors, everything is the same. It just seems like some sets are easier to get in some countries than others. So like if you're in the United Kingdom, it might be easier for you to get the Black Edition than the Eco Softs. So whichever one you can grab. And look at the price too, because I'm not sure what's up with that either, but the Eco Softs were a lot more expensive for some reason than and I have no idea why, because they're exactly the same. But I will put a link in the description as always. So what we're going to do is come in here, and when you're working with a realistic eye, remember there are a lot of colors in our eyes. So I usually go in very gently, and I will put a very pale color. I decided to make her eyes green, and I'm just kind of picking and choosing some of these lighter areas of her eyes. And don't worry about, putting it in the right place, the wrong place. We're just, we're just giving a suggestion of color right now, and we're going in with a really light green. These are not named. These are just numbered, and this is number 779. It's kind of a, kind of a limey pale green. And I'm just kind of, giving it the suggestion. Eyes have lots of depth, and you have to build it. It's really easy just to go in, especially with grayscale, because most of the work is done with, for you, if you don't want to take a lot of time with it. But if you do, and you want to build these layers up and just really make a wow impression, just kind of start laying colors here and there. Now, at home, if you're using a different set of pencils, I'm going to be using about 3 different colors of green and a couple of colors of brown. So, maybe watch the video, and then you can decide which ones you want to choose before getting started, and watch it again. But, yeah, don't let it intimidate you, though. This is not. Once we get through this, you'll see these. It's not that complicated. It's just a lot of lines, just lines on paper. Okay, I'm gonna change pencils and I'm gonna go to the darkest green that I'm planning on using. This is number 760, and it's kind of a warm, sort of like an army green. And I'm gonna put that on the outer area here. It's nice and soft. And then down here, I'm gonna start kind of like, remember how we talked about, you know, sort of that grab and pull. We did that with eyelashes in one of the other tutorials. You don't really want to put a whole lot of pigment, and you don't want it to look like a line. You just kind of want it to look like a flick, like a little eyelash. And you don't want them to come real far in, but you want it to be darker around the edge of her eye, around the outer ring of her eye. We're not going to go all the way around with that color. We're definitely going to give it a little extra oomph up here. These are very soft oil pencils. They deliver a lot of color, and they're one of my favorites to work with. You don't need to push very hard on them. Just nice and easy. Take your time. Okay, I'm gonna add that right there. Okay, now I'm gonna get kind of a brighter green, more like an apple color. It's number 710. And you can see the strokes. It's very subtle, but you can see it, and every little nuance kind of gives it new depth, kind of just builds it. And if you look at your eye, well, you can't look at your own eye under a microscope, but if you look at an eye under a microscope, it's like looks like a black hole from space, really. But there's a lot of lines, a lot of things going on, and it moves. So there's a lot going on. It's not just a solid color. Now I'm going to choose one last color of green. It's just sort of a middle tone, number 721. And I'm just kind of coming in here, just adding another color. It's got a little more yellow in it, and we want that. Remember, the eye is reflecting everything. It's always wet, and it's one part of our bodies that, you know, even if we get dehydrated, that is one part of our bodies that cannot dehydrate. So no matter what, the eye is always going to be reflective. It's always going to be picking up colors. It's always going to have a lot of depth. So don't worry about, oh, that color, that doesn't work. Yeah, you can find just about every color in an eye. Now I'm going to add the first step of super realism in eyes, and I'm going to add this color 787, and it's kind of a terracotta color. Anybody who has looked into someone's eyes that are brown or gray or green, you see a lot of, you know, like a light brown color, and it's random. It's, you know, sometimes they're just little dots, Sometimes it's a streak. Sometimes, you know, and adding that gives it, you know, a touch of realism and believability. And you put these little spots wherever you want. Very, very rarely will you see an eye that's just one color. I mean, it's out there, it happens. But usually there are little dots and blobs of other colors that are sneaking in. Now, you don't want to get super carried away with it, but you know, you want it to show up. Don't worry if you put too much in or you don't like it, we can always go back and fix it. Now I'm going to get this darker brown, number 788. It's kind of a chocolatey, it's got kind of a little bit of a taupe to it. Now I'm going to go up here underneath her lashes, and I'm going to shadow this area. And I'm going to shadow it all the way across into the white part of her eye. Nice and easy. This is going to give you another level of perspective of depth that's just like a wow factor. It's going to look like, you know, like it's real. And I'm going to just very lightly go around the bottom. Very, very lightly. I have one more shade. This is number 711. And it's another brown, and I just wanted to add, you know, just a little on those little red spots that we've already got, just a tiny bit more. Okay, now I'm going to get a kind of a peachy pink tone. This is number 791. I'm going to go down here right in the corner of her eye.
Tomorrow, there will be lots of clouds and thunderstorms, with a high of 77 degrees Fahrenheit and a low of 58 degrees.
Alexa, thanks.
Absolutely. Happy to help.
I'm determined to always say thanks. I rely on Alexa a lot. And I figure one of these days, if they ever become self-aware, they'll be like, oh yeah, she was always nice. Now I'm also going to add just a few little, very, everybody's got those little veins that run into the white part of our eyes. You don't have to be, you know, dramatic with it, but it's there. And I'm not going to add them over here. I'm just going to put just a touch of this peachy color, because even with the whites of our eyes, well, there's really no such thing. The whites of our eyes are really just a series of pale grays and blues and that kind of thing. But now I'm going to get a white, come in here and just barely lighten this up a bit. I'm going to touch up our highlights and our reflections. And there you have it, a realistic eye. And I think that I will cut the video just a little bit short today. We're having another kind of crazy thunderstorm, and I feel like every time the lightning strikes, it's kind of like messing, you know, it's like my camera's trying to compensate for the light. So I just wanted to make sure that you guys had something tonight. I wanted to go ahead and record this and get this up for you. Tomorrow should be a sunny day, so I'll be able to record something. We'll get those others up, and I also have some new pencil sets coming in from Amazon, so we'll talk about those too. I hope everybody's having a great afternoon, and I will see you tomorrow.